for the drug. Cash payments will start at $149 a month. Amazon says that the drug will be available in all 50 states.
All right, well, speaking of Wegovy, the Wegovy's new weight loss pills is reportedly seeing tremendous interest. It was approved last month, and according to Novo Nordisk's executive, clinical trials show the pill delivers similar weight loss results to that injection. The pill will also be available at 70,000 pharmacies nationwide, including major retailers like CVS, Costco, and GoodRx.
Live from Michigan Avenue, this is Good Day Chicago.
Now on Good Day Chicago, there's an investigation this morning following an officer-involved shooting during a traffic stop.
A deadly crackdown on protesters across Iran as President Trump weighs response to the violence and unrest.
And the Bears moving on to the divisional round of the NFL playoffs when they'll be taking on the LA Rams.
The Bears. The stretch of above normal temperatures continues, but Mike says we have some winter weather on the way later on this week. We're not worried about that right now.
Not right? Happy Victory Monday to you, and welcome to Good Day Chicago. I'm Brian Jackson.
And I'm Gabriella Primus. Yes, thanks for joining us. We have all smiles on our face. We're on a high on Sunday, and we're keeping that into the week, Mike Kaplan, until we see those colder temperatures. But you know what? It's going to be perfect for this, like you said, California team that's coming over.
Bring in, the whole Rams entourage.
Yeah.
Sean McVay, they're not used to this.
No, they're
going to be freezing out there at Soldier Field. So here's the deal. Today, not too bad. Getting the kids ready to the bus stop, they definitely need the winter coat. We're going to start in the 20s. It'll be 28 at 7, but then we break out into sunnier skies. By noon already, about a 10-degree bump will be in the upper 30s. I think our high for the day hits 44. A little bit on the breezy side. That's the downward, portion of this forecast. It is going to be a little bit windy, so it will make it feel colder. Right now, 28 at Waukegan, O'Hare, Midway, 29 at Joliet, 27 degrees at Maryville and Michigan City, LaSalle, Peru. You're still at 30. Most of the wind chills are in the upper teens. Feels like 17 at Midway, 14 at Woodstock. Wind chill of 17 right now at Gary. The skies are in the process of gradually clearing out. I think we'll see much more sunshine this afternoon, and even this morning, at least partly sunny skies. Gabriella is going to give us our first look at the traffic this morning now.
And even traffic starting out well this morning, Mike. Let's talk about outbound on the Stevenson near Harlem. There's just a stalled vehicle that's over on the left shoulder. It was blocking the left lane there for a little bit. Other than that, we don't really have any projects that are starting today, any big ones at least, just ones that continue on into later on next month. I'll keep you updated on what kind of projects you might see on your morning commute. But your drive time's obviously looking okay, too, with low traffic volume.
Well, Bears fans are still riding high after Saturday night's huge comeback win over the Packers.
Now they'll turn their attention over to the California kids, the Rams. Roseanne is live with more. Good morning, Roseanne.
Good morning. I know it looks empty behind me. We came out to the White Palace Grill. You don't have to go far to find a Bears fan. We found one. Michael Armstrong out this morning, and he's here to talk to us. Michael, this game had us all on the edge of our seat. Describe what it was like for you, who you were with, and all that.
Oh, man, I was with my coworkers, we at the job watching the game, nail biting. It was amazing.
It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So did you have a favorite play? I mean, did everybody go nuts?
I mean, the last play where DJ Moore caught a touchdown at the end, that was my favorite, yes. It's always DJ Moore.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this Caleb Williams? I feel like he could run for office, and, he pretty much owns the city, would you say?
Yeah, I love Caleb Williams, yes, I love him. Down to the nails. I love Caleb Williams.
Yeah. So, okay, the next game, the Rams. What do you think? What are you expecting? Can we pull it off?
We got it. We got it in the bag. We got it. We got it in the bag. I'm fully confident we got it.
What's the game plan for you? Are you working that night? It's supposed to be Sunday. We don't know what time.
No, I'm not working. I'm going to be in front of the TV, front row center, watching the game.
Okay. Any particular ritual or snacks or anything that have to go along with this gathering?
Put my sweater back on. That's it.
That's it. You and the Bears. That's it.
That's
awesome.
It. Thank you.
Well, thanks for talking to us. Let's hope they pull it out.
Bears.
Yeah, right? We were talking how no matter where you turn, you're going to find a Bears fan. I had to take an Uber yesterday. My Uber driver noticed my Bears shirt and said, "Where'd you watch the game?" And I said, I watched it from the couch. He was at the game absolutely went nuts. He said he couldn't believe how the stadium was rocking. And then he went home and watched the second half of the game on TV over again. His wife recorded it for him. So I'm telling you, this morning, people still feeling the excitement and in some cases still trying to calm down after this, seventh win at the last second. I mean, I think, 7 seconds? Those last 7 seconds, brutal. So I'll toss it back to you guys. We'll be talking to people throughout the morning as we prepare for the next game coming up on Sunday. Back to you guys.
Love it, Roseanne. You always find us the best Bears fans. And like I said, even on Saturday, you don't have to watch necessarily until the fourth quarter. It holds true, people. It holds true.
All right. Well, time is now 5:05 this morning. Got to get back to some breaking news. Chicago police were involved in a shooting overnight. Just before 1 a.m., officers stopped a car in the 4700 block of West 5th. The gun was spotted on the driver's lap, and more officers were called to the scene. At some point, an officer fired his gun. Now, nobody was hit by that gunfire, and the incident is still under investigation.
President Trump says Iran wants to negotiate with the U.S. after his threats to strike the country in response to a deadly crackdown on protests. Activists say the official death toll is now nearing 550 people, with thousands of others detained. This follows weeks of protests over economic conditions. So far, Iran has not responded to the president's comments, but it blamed Israel and the U.S. for the violence without providing any evidence. But meanwhile, in Los Angeles, an Iran protest descended into chaos when a driver allegedly plowed a U-Haul truck into the crowd. Some of the protesters were seen surrounding the U-Haul and smashing its windows. Officers were spotted pulling a man from that truck, and it appeared that they took him into custody. The side of the U-Haul had the words, "No Shah, no regime." There was no immediate word on possible injuries.
Well, President Trump is now issuing a warning to Cuba. He is urging the island nation to, quote, make a deal with the U.S. before it is too late. The warning comes as the U.S. is taking control of Venezuela's oil industry. Venezuela has long been Cuba's largest oil supplier. Trump met with oil executives in Washington on Friday. He's now looking to secure $100 billion of corporate investment into Venezuela.
Protests continue around the country in the wake of Renee Good's death.
Leaders in Minnesota and members of the Trump administration keep arguing over whether the ICE agent who shot and killed her did so in self-defense. Fox's Caroline Elliott is live in Minneapolis this morning with the latest.
Yeah, Gabriella and Brian, the memorial behind us has continued to grow over the weekend, and so have those protests as well. Last night, police deployed tear gas and pepper balls into a crowd of protesters, and today, more of those demonstrations are expected. ICE continuing immigration operations in Minneapolis on Sunday, just days after one of its agents shot and killed 37-year-old Renee Good. It comes as Fox has obtained this cell phone video showing Good inside her car moments before the incident. Show your face! Good's wife is seen filming outside of the vehicle when officials tell Good to get out of the car. The vehicle appears to back up and drive forward, prompting an ICE agent to fire his weapon. While federal officials accuse Good of trying to slam her car into the officer, some local leaders say the mother of three was legally observing an ICE operation.
This officer was hit by her vehicle. She weaponized it, and he defended his life.
This was a federal agent recklessly using power that ended up in somebody dying.
Over the weekend, protesters flooded streets nationwide, demanding justice for Good and denouncing the Trump administration's ongoing immigration crackdown. As for the investigation into Good's death, the FBI is taking the lead, prompting concerns from Democrats on Capitol Hill.
They have a strategy of putting out what their version of events are, and that is very dangerous.
And a DHS Secretary Kristi Noem says they're also sending hundreds of additional agents to Minneapolis. Brian, Gabriella.
All right, Caroline, thank you so much for that report. We'll be catching up with you again. We know that things are not probably going to stop just today.
All right, time is now 5:09 this morning. A Chicago man charged in connection with the murders of his ex-wife and her husband in Ohio is due in court today. Authorities arrested Michael David McKee in Rockford on Saturday. He is a vascular surgeon there. He is accused of shooting and killing Dr. Spencer Tepe and his wife Monique inside of their home in Columbus, Ohio, back on December 30th. The two young children were also inside the home at the time, but they were not hurt. McKee's Monique Tepe's ex-husband, they got divorced in 2017. The civil trial against Boeing is set to begin here in Chicago today. Boeing took a plea deal in 2024 to avoid a criminal trial after two fatal plane crashes in 2018 and in 2019. A man is now suing Boeing for the deaths of his mother, father, and sister, who were all passengers on board that Boeing 737 MAX plane that crashed in Ethiopia. Boeing says that they're entitled to pursue this case and that they will work to resolve the claims.
5:10. All right, boys, we have our answers. The Bears versus the Rams for the divisional round. I think it's going to look good for us.
Yeah, I think we match up pretty well against Matthew Stafford and company, Mike.
Puka Nacua and the whole gang, right? We're not sure what the status is of Stafford's, finger. Yeah, we're not sure what happened there.
He's probably okay. Unfortunately.
Yeah, everybody's gonna play. Of course, the Bears lost two, important players this weekend, unfortunately. But the weather is gonna have an impact on that game. We'll get to the weather in a little bit. First, let's talk about sports. We don't know the kickoff time yet, but the Bears are going to be hosting the LA Rams on Sunday at Soldier Field. Bears are going to focus their attention to that game after another dramatic win at Soldier Field. That pass right there, still can't believe it. They raced a 15-point fourth quarter deficit to stun the Packers. Caleb Williams orchestrated the comeback, while the defense, they came up with a couple of key stops after getting torched in the first half. This is the first playoff win for the Bears in 15 years.
Once he made that play to Rome, I knew he was going to win the game. It was just only a matter of time that he was going to make another play. He's just a special player. In these situations, when the game is on the line and we need him to make a play, he's always there. That's why we call him Iceman.
I think when he hit that, we were all like, we're winning this game. And that was like all right, we're going to win this one. But yeah, I mean, he's a dynamic, special player, and awesome for him to show that on the national stage.
Coach said in the headset, I need you right here, and go make a play, kid. And, we went out there and we did just that.
Bears didn't open, they finished as underdogs against the Packers, and they are underdogs against the Rams, anywhere from 3.5 to 4.5 points, depending on the betting forum that you choose to use. Well, the 49ers, they are also advancing to the divisional round. They beat the defending Super Bowl champs, the Eagles, in front of a very upset crowd there in Philadelphia. Eagles did have a chance to drive down the field and win this thing, but they came up empty on fourth down with just 40 seconds left. The 49ers are going to head to Seattle to take on the top-ranked Seahawks in the NFC. The Buffalo Bills, they're on their way to Denver to take on AFC best Broncos in the next round. They were able to get the win over the Jaguars yesterday. That tush push there, that first one was unbelievable there. Josh Allen scored that go-ahead touchdown with about a minute left. And then the Bills pick off Trevor Lawrence to seal the deal. Bills win 27-24. Now, the final game on Sunday, kind of the least exciting game of all this entire weekend. Chargers taking on the Patriots. Tough night for the Chargers offense, held to just 3 points. Drake May throwing for 268 and a touchdown, and he added 66 yards on the ground. Patriots win 16-3. They're going to take on the winner of tonight's game between the Texans and the Steelers. And the winner of that game will have some impact on what time the Bears play. Is it going to be the 2 p.m. time or the 5:30? But there's a look live in the city. Absolutely bear down, as we've got another home playoff game on the way. And there will be some cold weather for that one. We have actually fairly pleasant conditions out there, seasonably cold. 28 degrees isn't that far from the normal high this time of year. A little bit of a wind, though. Southwest at 13, so the wind chill is 17 degrees. If you're going to be outside for any period of time, hat and gloves are going to make you more comfortable. We've got 29 as the current temp in Joliet, Woodstock 25, 27 at Chicago's Lakefront, Morris 28, 28 also at Gary. In Merrillville it's 27, and in Benton Harbor, Michigan it is 26 degrees, where for the first time in a long time you might be getting some lake effect snow this week. We'll see exactly where that goes. Winds are gusting at 22 miles per hour at Kankakee O'Hare and about the same at Gary, so it's a little bit on the blustery side. That will continue throughout the day. Nothing damaging wise, but it is going to be enough to keep these wind chills, at least this morning, in the teens across much of the area. And then this afternoon, even as temperatures get into the 40s, it'll feel colder because of the wind. Our futurecast thinks it's clear now. It's not. It is partly cloudy out there, but I think during the afternoon we're going to see a whole lot of sunshine here. Skies tonight will start out clear, maybe a few clouds sneaking in here toward daybreak tomorrow. In terms of any rainfall tomorrow, I'm not impressed. There can be a brief sprinkle here or there. I would favor areas south of the Kankakee River as to maybe getting as much as 1/10 of an inch of rain tomorrow. It's just not a rainy day. It is Wednesday that we get a punch of colder air, and with that there will be some occasional snow showers. Not a lot with that, but here comes the lake effect. Is it going to be pointed mostly this way? Will it end up pointed that way? We'll give you our best guess on that in just a little bit. Back to you both.
Thank you, Mike.
Well, coming up, unrest continues in Iran, and hundreds of protesters there have been killed.
We're talking with political analyst Doug Luzader about the Trump administration's involvement coming up.
Having
Well, President Trump has a clear warning for Iran as the regime there continues to crack down on growing protests.
At the same time, he says the country's leaders are looking to negotiate with the United States. Now, Doug Luzader is live in Washington. Doug, what is President Trump saying about the violence and unrest there?
Well, you know, this has been something that's been brewing for a little while. The administration is generally supportive of these protests, but will that support morph into something more active than just simply saying that we support the rights of these protesters? Will the U.S. intervene militarily? It doesn't sound like any options are off the table at this point, and yet you have the Iranian regime threatening the United States that if we act militarily, they will respond and go after potential U.S. targets, including military bases and shipping in the region. Now, that brought a pretty swift rebuke from President Trump last night, and at the same time, the president indicated that Iran has reached out to the U.S. about talks. So as the pressure is really increasing on the regime there in Iran, it does look like there may be talks coming up soon between the U.S. and Iran, although the details apparently have not yet been worked out.
And Doug, President Trump also had a warning for Cuba when it comes to oil. What kind of deal is President Trump looking for?
Well, you know, this really goes back to what happened with Venezuela, of course. And, you know, Venezuela had very strong relations with Cuba. Cuba was pretty reliant on its relationship with Venezuela. It does look like the supply of energy is going to cease between Venezuela and Cuba. So this may be a time for the administration to act. Again, like Iran, the question is how active will the U.S. be in actually trying to, at least support the idea of regime change in Cuba.
All right. Well, Doug Luzader, thank you very much for your time. We'll figure out how this progress goes.
Thank you.
All right, time is down 5:19 this morning. Turning back to our forecast, how are things looking on this Victory Monday, Mike?
Pretty nice. We start with a little bit of cloud cover, but this cloud cover is going to go away. We'll have a lot of sunshine this afternoon, and temperatures, I think, poised to move in the low to mid 40s as we bear down, as the sign showed there. There's a look at the satellite and radar composite. You see a little bit of snow, northern Michigan. That's not bothering us, and there's no precipitation from these clouds. Another few hours of this cloudiness. And I think by 10, 11 o'clock, we're going to be clearing out quite nicely, and that's going to allow temperatures to climb into the 40s today. The only downside is going to be quite a bit of wind out there. It won't be like what we had last week where we had 40 and 50-mile-an-hour gusts, but we could see some gusts in excess of 25, which will make it feel a little bit colder. Now, tonight, a little trough of low pressure comes in, and with that, we'll keep the winds up a little bit, and there'll be a period of some increasing cloud cover. During the day tomorrow, you see where most of the rain is? This is tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. You got Peoria, maybe Kankakee, parts of northwest Indiana getting a few light rain showers. Then that sinks to the south. This is not our big rainy day tomorrow. And in fact, I think tomorrow we've got a 50-degree temperature on the way. But here we go. We've got what will be one of a few punches of cold air coming in this week. That one arrives on Wednesday. With that front, there will be some light snow. I don't expect a big accumulation, but what will happen behind that front is going to be a north wind. Will it be more of a northeast wind? Will it be more of a northwest wind? The exact trajectory of that wind Wednesday night into Thursday will determine who gets hit with potentially some heavy lake effect snow. Right now, I'm leaning toward those of you in Indiana and Michigan. 44 today, mostly sunny skies this afternoon. Tonight, a little bit on the breezy side, but clear to partly cloudy with a low of 34. Here's the 7-day. Another warmer day tomorrow. Then we'll still keep temperatures above normal on Wednesday, but here comes some chilly stuff. Thursday, high of 28 degrees. And we'll see where that morning lake effect goes. On Friday, some light snow showers continuing into Saturday with a punch of legit cold air here. And that's going to impact that Bears game, whether it's in the afternoon or evening. Temperatures are going to be quite cold here on Sunday with wind chills at times below zero. All right, 522. Let's see what Gabriella, you're already shivering, Gabby.
Every time you even talk about the cold weather, it just makes me even more cold. Yeah, let's talk about traffic. I kind of lied to you in my last report. I said there's no new work that's going to be happening starting this week, but I was kind of just looking at the Illinois side. I apologize. I need to look at the Indiana side too, because there is a travel advisory for people who take that Hammond exit Klein Avenue. So it's going to start today at 7 a.m. through Friday at 3 p.m. The eastbound exit to Klein Avenue will be closed for maintenance and repairs. Now, that toll plaza, of course, is going to remain open. They're still going to take your money, and one toll plaza lane will be closed during this work. And there are details going to be posted, so use exit 3 or go south on US 41. There's going to be, of course, some options, and they will have signs there. Just allow some extra time for yourself and drive with care during that time.
Coming up, why the Justice Department is opening up a criminal investigation into Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell.
And Notre Dame responds to allegations against football coach Marcus Freeman. We'll have the details coming up.
The ground.
Welcome back. Time is now 5:25. We'll check in with Mike for a look at this Monday morning forecast in just a bit. Well, the Department of Justice has subpoenaed the Federal Reserve and is now threatening to criminally indict Chair Jerome Powell. It is related to his testimony about the Fed's building renovations. President Trump has called the $2.5 billion renovation, quote, excessive. But Powell is responding. He's accusing the White House of playing politics over his refusal to slash interest rates.
New threat is not about my testimony last June or about the renovation of the Federal Reserve buildings. It is not about Congress's oversight role. The Fed, through testimony and other public disclosures, made every effort to keep Congress informed about the renovation project. Those are pretexts. The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president.
Jerome Powell was originally appointed as Fed chair by President Trump during his first term. His current term will expire in May, and Powell has insisted he will finish his term. The University of Notre Dame says the allegations of battery against head football coach Marcus Freeman are unfounded. Freeman is accused of physically engaging with an assistant wrestling coach at an Indiana high school. And this was following his son's wrestling match earlier this month. Well, Freeman and his wife intervened after their son was, quote, verbally accosted by a coach during and after a match. A police report was filed against Freeman, but the university says video evidence has cleared him.
All right, 5:26 now, checking in with Mike Kaplan. And Mike, yeah, it's really going to feel like a slap in the face, actually, these colder temperatures. It's been so warm.
It has, and it's going to be, very mild today and even warmer tomorrow. Let's go to the map. There's no real big storm anywhere in sight here. This is kind of unusual for January. Usually somebody's getting hit with heavy snow. There are some lake effect snows in the Northeast, a little bit of moisture in the Pacific Northwest. I want to draw something for you here. Let's see if I can get this done right. I'm going to draw kind of the way the jet stream pattern is right now. There's some cooler air there, and then we have a ridge of high pressure here. When you're underneath that ridge, temperatures tend to be warm. Here's what's going to happen to the jet stream, though, later this week. A big ridge goes up in the west, and that's going to allow a trough to develop here. You know what you get there? Cold air coming in from Canada and the Arctic. So after having what will be, I think, 11 days in a row before the streak ends of warmer than normal temperatures, we do have some cold stuff coming just in time to welcome the Rams to town over the weekend. 44 today, becoming mostly sunny. Tomorrow, 50 degrees with a small chance of a shower. A lot of us are going to get barely anything. If I had to pick a spot that's going to get more rain than anywhere else, I'm going Kankakee River Valley and point south. Wednesday, some light snow showers with falling temperatures after a high of 38. Then we're going to watch Wednesday night into Thursday morning. That's a period of time where lake effect snow is going to target somewhere in the south end of the lake. It's just too early to tell who's going to get it. Will it be in the Illinois-Michigan side? The Indiana-Michigan side, or might it sneak farther west? A colder day Thursday. We'll get it up to normal on Friday with some snow showers. Snow showers on Saturday with a high of only 22. Coldest day of the bunch is game day. 18 for the high, and overnight lows will get back down into the single digits with sub-zero wind chills on the way. Back to you both.
Thank you, Mike. All right, stick around for more news, weather, and traffic when we come back.
Fox 32 News is brought
Now, Good Day Chicago, there's an investigation this morning after an officer-involved shooting during a traffic stop.
A daily crackdown on protesters across Iran as President Trump weighs a response to the violence and unrest.
The Bears are moving on to the divisional round of the NFL playoffs when they'll be taking on the Rams. Mike.
And it's going to be a cold day when the Bears take on the Rams, which I think suits the Bears just fine. Today, mild weather as our warm streak continues, and it'll be even warmer tomorrow. I've got the numbers on the way, and we'll also talk about the risk of some lake effect snow this week. But right now, Gabriella's going to let us know what kind of delays there might be. You were saying Indiana, some construction stuff?
You know what, Mike? Yeah, that's going to be a new project over on the tollway, and it's actually that exit to Klein Avenue. It's going to be closed starting today at 7 until Friday at 3 p.m. So kind of a long break there, but they're going to be doing some much needed improvements on that ramp, and it's just better to close it all week to get that done. Right now, we're smooth going all around Chicagoland. Really, there's no other incidents to report, no other projects starting, at least on the Illinois side, that we need to talk about. So please be careful out there, and let's start your Monday off right.
Well, speaking of starting your Monday off right,
already done, really.
We are riding high after a big win over the rival Packers on Saturday.
They'll now turn their focus onto the Rams. Roseanne is live with more. Still talking to some Bears fans. Good morning, Roseanne.
Right. Good morning. That game coming up on Sunday. All weekend, everybody in this town was pumped up, talking about the game, talking about what they saw. We also talked to some people about just the crazy highlights of that game, the finish. Some of my favorite moments were, after the Packers just couldn't pull it out. I love when Odunze knocks Ben Johnson right on his butt on the field. Jordan Love, of course, just heartbroken. In contrast, Caleb Williams just absolutely elated. And I loved, Jordan Love and Caleb Williams, that big embrace. I love the handshakes at the end of the game when, you just know the better team won, right? So we did talk to some fans over the weekend. Here's what they had to say.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an awesome game.
They're going to dominate. It'll be hard, cardiac Bears like usual. Don't wait until the fourth quarter. Don't leave early.
Okay, and nobody knows cardiac Bears better than Jennifer, who was watching the game. Jennifer Tyrone, also a big Bears fan. But Jennifer, I know you were there Saturday, watched it to the end. What did you think was going through your mind?
Well, I thought they was going to lose at first. I was kind of cringy in the first and second quarter, but I know that they the fourth quarter comebacks now, so I knew they was going to take it. But I'm a Bears fan. I'm from Chicago. You can't help but to be a Bears fan, and they haven't won a Super Bowl since I was 5 years old, and I'm 45 now. So it'd be nice if they win the Super Bowl, and I'm rooting for them this year, so hopefully they get down and do their thing.
Yeah, well, you're in a big club, a big, wonderful club of people rooting for the Bears, and that includes you, I know. Tyrone, you had to work during the game.
And I'm going to be working Sunday.
Oh, no. That's a dedicated man.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Thank God for YouTube?
Yes. I love the Bears. I already knew they was going to do it. After I seen, it was God.
Right. Who's your favorite player? Jennifer's going with Caleb. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so, Jennifer, let me ask you, what is the plan? I'm, hate to ask because poor Tyrone has to work, but you're ready for this game.
I'm ready. And even if I didn't have to work, I'll still be tuning in.
Yes.
I'm a real diehard Bears fan. Okay. Shout out to Caleb and more. Sorry, Justin Love.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy. We'll be great in cheese.
I'm sorry, Jordan Love. Great to cheese.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for talking to us. We appreciate it. Oh, yeah, that is another one of my favorite things, the video of them grating the cheese, all the Bears players. So many wonderful moments, the post-game news conferences. They're just humble, and it's a real exciting time for Bears fans, and that's what we're finding out here this morning. Back to you guys.
I loved how they kept on the game. They didn't really worry about all the trash talk coming from the Packers, and they got it done. Thank you, Roseanne, so much.
I sure did. All right, time is now 5:35 this morning. We are following some breaking news we want to keep you updated on. Chicago police were involved in a shooting overnight. Just before 1 a.m., officers stopped a car in the 4700 block of West 5th. A gun was spotted on the driver's lap, and more officers were called to the scene. At some point, an officer fired his gun. Now, nobody was hit by the gunfire. That incident is still under investigation.
President Trump says Iran wants to negotiate with the U.S. after his threats to strike the country in response to a deadly crackdown on protests. Activists say the official death toll is now nearing 550 people, with thousands of others detained during these protests. This follows weeks of protest over economic conditions. So far, Iran has not responded to the president's comments, but it blamed Israel and the U.S. for the violence without providing any evidence. Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, an Iran protest descended into chaos when a driver allegedly plowed a U-Haul truck into the crowd. Now, some of the protesters were seen surrounding the U-Haul and smashing its windows. Officers were spotted pulling a man from the truck, and they appeared to take him into custody. The side of the U-Haul had the words "No Shah, no regime." There was no immediate word on possible injuries.
Well, President Trump is issuing a warning to Cuba. He is urging the island nation to, quote, make a deal with the U.S. before it is too late. The warning comes that the U.S. is already taking control of Venezuela's oil industry. Venezuela has long been Cuba's largest oil supplier. President Trump met with oil executives in Washington on Monday. He is looking to secure $100 billion worth of corporate investment into Venezuela.
More anti-ICE protests continue across the nation. These protests come just after an ICE agent shot and killed Renee Good in Minneapolis, An estimated 1,000 events took place this weekend, all part of the movement called ICE Out for Good Weekend of Action. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says hundreds of additional federal agents will be deployed to Minnesota.
Order to allow our ICE and our Border Patrol individuals that are working in Minneapolis to do so safely. We're going to continue to, if they conduct violent activities against law enforcement, if they impede our operations, that's a crime.
When there is debate about baseline facts, like, for instance, did the ICE agent get run over? Guys, the answer is no. It didn't happen. You don't need to take their word for it. Watch the video.
Some Republicans are speaking out against ICE, including Senator Lisa Murkowski from Alaska, who's calling for policy changes and a thorough investigation into the shooting.
A Chicago man charged in connection with the murders of his ex-wife and her husband in Ohio is due in court today. Authorities arrested Michael David McKee in Rockford on Saturday. He happens to be a vascular surgeon there. He's accused of shooting and killing Dr. Spencer Tepe and his wife Monique inside of their Columbus, Ohio home on December 30th. The two young children were home at the time, but they were not hurt. McKee is Monique Tepe's ex-husband. They were divorced in 2017. The civil trial against Boeing is set to begin here in Chicago today. Boeing took a plea deal in 2024 to avoid a criminal trial after two fatal plane crashes in 2018 and in 2019. A man is now suing Boeing for the deaths of his father, mother, and sister, who all passengers on board the Boeing 737 MAX plane that crashed in Ethiopia. Boeing says that they're entitled to pursue the case and that they will work to resolve the claims.
In Chicago, it was a violent weekend on the CTA. A man was badly hurt after he was stabbed on a Red Line train. Police responded just before 3 Sunday morning along West 69th Street. They say a 34-year-old man was on the train when he got into an argument with someone else. That person then stabbed the victim in the chest. The victim was taken to the hospital in serious condition. No one is in custody. But also on Saturday, a man was stabbed to death at the Clark and Lake CTA station. There is no word yet on what led to the stabbing. No arrests have been made. The Trump administration has threatened to cut $50 million in federal money because of violent crime on the CTA.
A federal judge rules the Trump administration cannot block federal money for child care subsidies and other programs from 5 states, including Illinois. All the 5 states sued the Trump administration, saying that the White House did not have a legal reason for withholding the money. The Trump administration paused the funding last week because of suspected fraud.
540, compared to how December started with all that snow that we got, I am glad that we're getting a break from some of these serious winter storm weather.
Yeah, we had that weekend after Thanksgiving, it snowed a lot. And since then, it hasn't been really that bad. You're right, we had some snow in early December, but in general, for the past few weeks, it's been pretty easy to take this winter. And the next few days, I think, are going to be pretty decent around here. The bus stop today, though, make sure the kids have got some winter gear on. It is going to be cold with temperatures in the 20s. 20s, wind chills in the teens. But we have a nice warm-up on the way, and skies will be clearing. Here's the deal, though. Even though we'll hit 44 for that ride home, it's going to be kind of windy, so the kids probably encourage them to have the hat and gloves ready to go, despite the fact we'll have those temperatures in the 40s. Sunshine's going to make it feel pretty nice, though. 30 now, Joliet, 28 at Waukegan, O'Hare, Midway, and Chicago's Lakefront. How about Northwest Indiana? Gary, 28, Valpo, 24, and in Michigan City, it is 27 degrees. This is the wind. It's coming out of the southwest, and you probably know that's usually a warm direction for us, so that's going to pump temperatures up today, but it is rather blustery. We've got a 22-mile-an-hour gust, for example, at O'Hare, so the wind chills are in the teens, mostly upper teens, which is why you want that hat and gloves if you're going to spend any kind of time outside, especially this morning. We'll see, I think, increasing sunshine during the late morning and early afternoon hours. There's going to be no precipitation today. Tonight, maybe a little uptick in cloud cover toward daybreak tomorrow. That's not a big deal. There's a chance for a little bit of light rain tomorrow. I just think almost all of it is going to be well south of the city. You're kind of going into the Kankakee River Valley. There you are at 4 o'clock. It's pretty much gone. And then a push of colder air arrives tomorrow night into Wednesday. And with that, we get some light snow in here. That's the picture at 7 a.m. And you see a little bit of light snow falling. And that is what we're going to watch right here. Where will that lake effect set up late Wednesday into Thursday? Somebody could get several inches of snow out of that. It's just too early to tell whether it'll be a little farther west or if it's going to be mainly Indiana and Michigan's problem. All right, it is 5:43 almost. I'll be right back after this.
We do the job.
The Department of Justice has subpoenaed the Federal Reserve and is now threatening to criminally indict Chair Jerome Powell. It is about his testimony about the Fed's building renovations. President Trump has called the $2.5 billion renovation excessive. But Powell is accusing the White House of playing politics over his refusal to slash interest rates. Powell was originally appointed as Fed chair by President Trump during his first term. His current term will expire in May, and Powell has insisted he will finish that term.
The U.S. launched another round of strikes against ISIS targets in Syria over the weekend. The large-scale strikes are part of a broader response from the Trump administration in retaliation following a deadly ISIS attack which killed 2 American soldiers and a U.S. civilian interpreter last month. The U.S. military said the strikes were done alongside partner forces, but it did not specify which forces.
The U.S. State Department is warning Americans to get out of Venezuela as soon as they can. The U.S. Embassy in Caracas is reporting groups of armed militias setting up roadblocks and searching vehicles for evidence of U.S. citizenship. The embassy says that there is concern that the U.S. will be unable to provide Americans with emergency assistance. Time is now 5:46 this morning. Stick around. We got more news, weather, and traffic on the way.
Fox 32 News is brought to you.
Well, if you have an Instagram account, you may want to reset your password. The information from millions of users could be at risk. A security breach may have exposed 17.5 million users' personal data. The report from Malwarebytes says that the exposed data included Instagram usernames, phone numbers, email addresses, and other information. Users are asked to change their passwords and to turn on two-factor authentication on their accounts.
Malaysia and Indonesia have become the first countries to block Grok, the artificial intelligence chatbot developed by Elon Musk. Authorities said it was being misused to generate sexually explicit and non-consensual images. The move reflects growing global concern over generative AI tools that can produce realistic images, while existing safeguards fail to prevent their abuse.
Well, there's a noticeable change at the Smithsonian's National Portrait Gallery. References to President Trump's two impeachments have now been removed from his display in the American President's exhibit. His portrait now appears without the usual wall text seen for other presidents. The White House has not said whether it requested the change, but it comes as the administration pushes museums to review exhibits ahead of the nation's 250th anniversary. The red carpet rolled out for the Golden Globe Awards on Sunday night, and we were there to bring you all the highlights and winners from Hollywood's Party of the Year.
Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has more.
From walking the red carpet to going home with the Globe, we're celebrating with the honorees of film and TV at this year's Golden Globe Awards.
And the winner is One Battle After Another.
It was one trophy after another for one battle after another, with 4 total, including Best Picture Musical or Comedy. Paul Thomas Anderson nabbed Best Director and Best Screenplay.
To my brown sisters and little brown girls watching tonight, and our dreams deserve space. Thank you.
Tiana Taylor won Best Supporting Actress.
Hamnet.
To be or not to be? Well, they are big winners. Hamnet took Best Picture Drama, and Jessie Buckley won Best Female Actor in a Motion Picture. In more golden honors for the silver screen, Wagner Moura won Best Male Actor. His movie, The Secret Agent, took Best Non-English Language Film.
Hopefully you'll see it in a cinema, because they're an extinguished
species.
Sentimental Values, Stellan Skarsgård was named Best Supporting Male Actor. Plus, it was a golden night for K-pop Demon Hunters, taking Best Motion Picture Animated Film and Best Song in a Motion Picture.
Just like Wicked, I'm back for a sequel.
Host Nikki Glazer dished out her signature roasting style as the awards were handed out in film and TV.
This is extraordinary.
As for the TV side, Adolescence was the big winner there, taking 4 categories, including Best Limited or Anthology Series. The Pit earned Best Drama. Sal Saperstein and team of The Studio follow up their Emmys win with the Best Musical or Comedy Series Golden Globe.
So excited to get started shooting the next season in 1 week from today.
This award season party keeps going from here. Up next, Oscar nominations January 22nd at the Beverly Hilton in Beverly Hills. Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Barbie releases a one-of-a-kind doll to help represent a specific community of people. Mattel is releasing the first ever autistic doll to help spread light on individuals who have been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder and how they experience the world. The company says the doll includes specific design choices like flexible elbows and joints of the hand to mimic stimming, which is repetitive body movements that some with autism experience. Mattel says the doll will be on sale starting today.
A rare Superman comic just sold for a record $15 million. The 1938 Action Comics #1 introduced Superman and launched a superhero genre. Once stolen from actor Nicolas Cage's home, it was later recovered in 2011 and then it was put up for auction. Experts say that its history, rarity, and cultural impact drove the price. Only about 100 copies exist, and this sale shattered the previous comic record of $9 million. The buyer and seller, though, remain anonymous.
Wow.
$15 million.
What are the things that we should be buying today that will be worth zillions of dollars in, 50, 60 years from now?
The penny.
You think that's it?
That might be right, yeah.
Possibly, right.
A headshot of Mike Kaplan.
No. That's not going to be worth
With a
anything.
spray of his cologne.
Oh, my gosh. I love looking at that sign there, the bear down.
It's so
just
cool.
Keep that up all week.
Well done.
Keep that up all week. We have, there you go, multiple views of this. We got the Rams coming to town, which, our own Lou Canellis, I think he has been advocating that matchup, and I think I like it too. Let's bring that warm weather team in here for some cold weather. Look at the next week and a half. We have 2 pretty warm days today and tomorrow. Tomorrow hit 50. 38 degrees on Wednesday with falling temperatures. Then we get a downturn Thursday up to normal temperatures Friday. But look at the weekend, especially Sunday, when the Bears have that home game. High of only 18. And depending on when that game is played, if it's a late game, we could have some temperatures in the single digits. And in general, kind of a chilly pattern as we head toward next week as well. So let's dive into some details in the short term. We'll go to our future cast. Today, we'll see a mixture of clouds and sun this morning, becoming mostly sunny this afternoon. This trough of low pressure will be followed by an increase in cloud cover, and tomorrow, maybe a little bit of rain. I just think that the bulk of anything could even be more than a couple hundredths. It's going to be well south of the city, probably Kankakee River Valley, and then downstate. But here comes the first of what will be a couple punches of cold air this week. This one arrives on Wednesday, and with it, there will be some light snow showers. Not a big snowstorm here, but with winds coming down the lake, especially late Wednesday into Thursday, there is going to be some lake effect snow. But will that target Michiana? Will it come a little farther to the west? It is simply too soon to tell. But just know that, in my opinion, if there's going to be an impactful snow, it will be lake effect and not what I would call system snow. 44 today, a nice day, a little bit on the breezy side. You're going to see a lot of afternoon sun. Tonight, mainly clear, pleasant. 34 degrees for the low. Tomorrow up to 50, just a few spotty light rain showers. Changing over to some snow on Wednesday, not a big deal with that, but late Wednesday night, especially Wednesday night into early Thursday, that's when we're going to watch for that lake effect plume going somewhere nearby. 28 on Thursday, 32 Friday, some spotty snow showers Friday and Saturday, with the cold air settling in here just in time for that Bears game on Sunday. My friend Laura Schwartz is on my bucket list. She is in Senya, Norway, part of a trip to specifically see this with her daughter. And they have been treated to view after view of the northern lights. Let's look at the next picture. Just go ahead and put these up pretty quickly. You've got, spectacular scenery there. The stars are out. The northern lights every night. She's seeing them actually, I think, overnight. This morning they had a great show. So, Laura, thanks for sharing these pictures with us. Look at those pillars. Wow. That is absolutely gorgeous. Senja is actually an island not far from the town of Tromsø, which is regarded as the Northern Lights capital of the world. Great views there of the Aurora Borealis. Laura, have a safe trip back home. I know she's watching us online in Norway right now. We have a beautiful day on the way today on Victory Monday. We'll be back with more of Good Day after this.
That unrelenting itch when
Welcome back. Here's the latest on Good Day Chicago just before 6 a.m.
Well, Amazon Pharmacy says it will now offer Novo Nordisk's Wegovy weight loss pill. Eligible customers with insurance will be able to pay $25 a month for the drug. Cash payments will start at $149 a month. Amazon says that the drug will be available in all 50 states.
All right, well, speaking of that pill, it's reportedly seeing tremendous interest. It was approved last month. According to Novo Nordisk's executive, clinical trials show the pill delivers similar weight loss results to the injection.